Hey, good afternoon. Today is Monday, July the 29th. My name is Judge Esparza. We have some writ hearings scheduled for this afternoon. Before we get started, I need to clear some things up. There's a couple of phones on here that do not have names. If you are an attorney, please turn on your camera. If you're not an attorney, please identify yourself. There's a Samsung SM-A2. Samsung A2, please identify yourself or you will be removed.
I'm trying to identify. I'm trying to figure it out, but I don't know how to put the name on there.
Are you? Who is this?
I'm one of the family members.
Okay, for who?
For Fernando Perez,
Who told you to get on this link?
the attorney,
Who's the attorney?
Rubio Salinas.
Judge, if I can have a minute, I'll talk to him. If you give me a second, Judge.
Well, if they're going to be testifying, that's fine. If they're not going to be testifying, Mr. Rubio Salinas, they don't need to be on the screen.
Yes, Judge. I'll have him get off.
There's a couple other Samsung numbers on the line. Please turn on your camera and identify yourself. All right, I'm going to go ahead and remove them. It looks like they got off. Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, the first case we're going to call is C 3407-24-I, State of Texas versus Lori Casiano. Are you Lori Casiano? Do you speak English?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and just stand in the middle of the room there. Lily Gutierrez.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is your motion. Good afternoon.
Yes, it is, Your Honor. Your Honor, we're asking for a reduction of her current bond of $100,000 for driving while intoxicated, third or more. I believe this might be either her fourth or her fifth. So I just want to let you know, it might be her fourth. I think 5 is too many. But I do want to let the court know that she also has a pending felony case with 2 counts, abandoning, endangering a child, and evading arrest with the vehicle. Oh, with the previous conviction, sorry. And so that's pending currently, and there's a motion to revoke on 2 separate counts. All of that is pending, Your Honor, and I think that all of that is worked out in terms of her bond. So this is this is one of the things that's keeping her in custody. The other thing is her motion to revoke. So I'm trying to set her in the 398th as soon as possible on that. But we believe the $100,000 is excessive, Your Honor. I don't have all of the information in terms regarding this DWI, and I don't want to misspeak and say something happened that didn't happen in this case. So I'll leave that to Mr. Cuellar, but I do believe that $100,000 is excessive, and we're asking for something more reasonable. She's a United States citizen. She's lived all her life here in the Valley. She has children here, United States citizen children that go to school and work here. Her whole family is here. They're supportive, and they've been calling me, and they do have plans to get her out. So we're asking for something reasonable, Your Honor. She's already made bond on other cases. This might seem extreme on my end, but I'm asking for a PR bond.
Not sure if you're aware, but as well, you indicated your client's got a motion to revoke. She's on felony probation for DWI. She's been arrested, from my count, 5 times since being placed on probation, including 2 DWIs. Anyways, what says the state?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Of course, Judge, the state will be opposed to any type of a PR bond or any reduction, Judge. She was out on bond from cases that she picked up on April 19th and May 2nd. Then she picked up these cases as well. And she has verification and incarcerations on 5 other cases, Judge. And due to that and her extensive priors, Judge, the state will be requesting that her bonds keep it as it is and not for it to be reduced.
On felony probation for a DWI that she was placed, I believe, in 2023, September. She picked up a subsequent DWI in May, and then she picked up this one July 10th. In addition to numerous other charges, she's not complied with the ignition interlock device from what I read on the motion to revoke. I don't see how letting this individual out on the street would not pose a danger to the community. At this time, I'm going to deny any reduction. She's got 2 felony pending revocations, plus numerous DWIs. So at this time, due to that, the safety of the community, I'm going to deny any relief.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll be speaking with my client about this.
All right, thank you. You may be excused. The female may be excused. Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez. Next case we're going to call is C3399-24-E, State of Texas versus Kenneth Humphreys. Humphreys? Speak English? Yes, sir. Okay. Mr. Humphreys is present. Jaime Aleman, this is your motion, sir. You may proceed.
Your Honor, good afternoon. Jaime Aleman on behalf of Mr. Humphreys. We are here before this honorable court. My client is currently being held on 1 count of burglary building, which has a $15,000 cash surety bond, Judge. He has been in custody. On that one is also being held on another burglary building, which currently has no bond set on it. So we're going to be asking for a bond to be set on that one, as well as a reduction on the $15,000 cash surety bond. For the judge, for the court's understanding, Judge, he does have currently 2 cases set in the 139th that are going to be set for arraignment coming up on August the 12th, which is an attempted burglary, habitation, and theft from 2023, Judge. At this particular point, my client is a resident, U.S. citizen, and a resident of the city of Elsa, has been for many years. He has many ties to the community. We are asking at this point, Judge, for a bond to be set in a reasonable amount. He obviously is still presumed innocent pending adjudication on these pending charges. So at this point, Judge, we are asking for a PR bond due to his very limited financial resources at this time, Judge.
As a state.
Yes, Judge. We'll be asking for no reduction on this case, Judge. And the reason behind it is that he was out on a PR bond on a burglary building and the theft, like Mr. Alaman mentioned, on April 24th. And like Mr. Alaman mentioned, he was also out on bond on a criminal attempt of a burglary building, of a habitation, I'm sorry, from June 23rd. Then he picked up these additional charges, Judge. Because of that and of the defendant's extensive prior criminal history that dates back to before I was even born, Judge, the state will be requesting that there be no reduction.
I don't know how old you are, Mr. Cuellar, but
I was born in 1996, Judge.
okay. Mr. Aleman, there's on your motion, you have a burglary of a building that has a no bond set. There was a writ hearing held last week or 2 weeks ago. Judge Gonzalez out of the 370th ordered that he be held without bond. So I believe that's the case that you're requesting a bond on now.
Yeah, Judge, it was a bit of an unusual situation, just for the court's understanding. I believe my client has a sister that works for Regina Richardson, and then I think she may have file that. She hasn't communicated to me that she's going to be taking over these cases. So I just, out of abundance of caution, when I filed my writ, I wanted to kind of cover everything. But I do understand that there is a C number out of 370th that does indicate that. I did not see an actual hearing taking place, to be honest with you, Judge, but we just wanted to include everything at this point.
Well, I looked into it and apparently he was placed on AIP, looks like in May. And then he was taken off at that hearing due to non-compliance with the AIP order and order detained without a bond on that case. This bond is currently set at $15,000. Sir, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
How old are you, Mr. Humphreys? How old are you?
I'm 61, sir.
61?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where do you live? Where do you live?
Oh, I actually was living in my car. I'm homeless.
Where were you living before that?
At my sister's house.
Where at? What city?
On Alamo Road, 317 South Alamo Road,
What city?
Edinburgh.
You have a job, sir? Have you worked? When was the last time you worked? When was the last time you worked? When was the last time you worked?
About a year.
Bond will be reduced to $5,000 cash surety on the one that's currently set at 15,000.
Thank you,
The
Judge.
other one I'm not gonna address only because it was just before the court last week and judge ordered he being held without any bond for
Very well
non-compliance.
done.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Next case we're gonna call is C 3395-24-8, State of Texas versus Mario Olivares. You speak English, correct, Mr. Olivares? Orlando Cantu, there you are. Motion, sir, he is present, he is English speaking, you may proceed.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Your Honor, I was appointed to represent Mr. Olivares, Judge. His bond is currently set at $70,000 on a secondary possession of a controlled substance. He's been in custody since July 19th, Your Honor, so that's approximately 10 days. He's been unable to make the bond so far, Your Honor. He is a United States citizen. He resides out of Mercedes, Texas. He did have some employment, Your Honor, as a subcontractor. Your Honor, I was looking into his background, and I don't see very much of anything in terms of his criminal history. What pops up maybe are little minor misdemeanors that go back a while, back to 2001, I believe. Other than that, Your Honor, I didn't see any serious felonies, but I may be incorrect based on what I have in front of me. I don't know much about the offense that he was arrested for, Your Honor. I'm unsure what the substance was. However, I can tell the court, Your Honor, that $70,000 mark is too much for him or his family. We're asking the court to perhaps consider reducing the overall amount to perhaps maybe a $5,000 cash surety bond, Your Honor, or in the alternative, maybe a PR bond to where he can be released, Your Honor, and we can address this case appropriately as it enters the court system.
Rolando, he's got an ICE hold. You say he was a USC, but it's showing an immigration hold on him.
Oh, Your Honor, I have, then my notes are incorrect. He does have an immigration hold.
Yes, that's what I'm showing. But you, raise your right answer. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Mario Olivares,
You have a middle name?
Alberto,
What's your date of birth?
9580.
Yeah, you can put your name. He's got an immigration hold. It was filed last week.
I apologize, Your Honor. I did not see that. I have it noted here as a U.S. citizen for some reason, but given that he does have this immigration hold, Your Honor, obviously it would be difficult for this court to give him a bond or to release him out on a PR bond, Your Honor. Perhaps the court can consider a reduction, but even if you were to post the bond, obviously he'll have to go over the immigration.
What says the state?
Yes, Judge, I was kind of confused because I was going through his file and you are correct, Judge. He does have an ICE hold, so the state will be opposed to any reduction to any bond, Judge.
Mr. Olivares, where do you live, sir? What city do you live in?
I'm in Mercedes, Texas.
How long have you lived there?
All my life.
You weren't born in the United States, were you?
Well, no, but I was a resident. So they.
Now what I'm asking you, were you born in the United States?
No, sir.
There's an immigration hold on you, sir. You understand that?
Yeah.
And so what that means is if you make bond, there's a possibility, very high possibility, well, you'll be released to immigration and they'll determine whether they're going to deport you or not. I don't have any control over that. Do you work, sir?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
I'm a contractor for a drywall finisher.
For what?
Drywall finisher. I'm a drywall finisher.
Bond will be reduced to $5,000 cash surety. I'm gonna order monthly UAs. Means if you make bond, sir, and if you're released here, probation is going to contact you to get drug tested. You need to show up when they tell you to show up, not when you want to show up, when they tell you. If you don't, we're gonna have a hearing, see why we shouldn't put you back in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
No drugs, no alcohol. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
What's your address, sir?
Photo, South Colorado, Mercedes, Texas.
Is that a house or an
It's
apartment?
a house.
You own or rent?
Oh, that's my mother's house.
All right, anything else, Mr. Katu?
All I got, Judge. Thank you.
All right, go ahead and have a seat, sir. Good luck to you.
Might be excused, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Next case we're gonna call is C 3409-24-J, State of Texas versus Fernando Perez. You speak English, Mr. Perez?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Perez is present. Mr. Salinas, this is your motion. Just for the record, Rubio, the two terroristic threat charges, the complaint has been filed. They landed in court, looks like court 5. So the only thing before the court would be the ag assault charges.
That's correct, Judge.
Okay.
Judge, my client is a U.S. citizen. My client is a U.S. citizen. I believe he would be like 36 years old. He's asking the court to reduce the bonds. They are excessive. They are beyond his financial means. He resides in McAllen, Texas, Your Honor, and currently he cuts yards for a living. Very limited financial means. Asking the court to consider reducing the bonds respectively from $50,000 cash surety to $5,000 cash surety for each of the 2 counts. So the bonds are 50 on each one, total of 100. He's asking to reduce it from 50 to 5 on each one, total of 10,000 cash surety. He does have a prior criminal history, Judge. However, he's still presumed to be innocent. There is no presumption of guilt in this in this country. So he's asking the court to consider the fact that he's a U.S. citizen. He's not going anywhere. He's going to go to court, and he is presumed innocent. We're asking the court to consider reducing his bonds.
All right, what says the state?
Yes, Your Honor, we're going to be opposed to any reduction of his bond, Judge. Due to the nature of the charges, Judge, and also the defendant has an extensive list of priors, Judge. He's been up before, Judge, to TDC. And because of that, of his history and his current charges, Judge, the state will be opposed to any reduction at this time.
Sir, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
You put your hand down. How old are you, sir?
I'm 32 years old, sir.
What city you live in?
I live in McAllen, Texas.
Who do you live with?
I live with my girl and my stepson.
You have a job?
I was self-employed, but upon release, if I do get released, I do have a job. I can get a job. Building out the expressway. Yes, sir.
Doing what?
Building the expressway.
Are you on probation or parole?
No, sir.
You've been up before though, right? You've been up before? You've been in TDC?
Yes, sir, I have. But I discharged everything.
Okay.
Finished everything, sir.
Or if you do make bond, sir, no contact with the victim or the victims, you understand? Don't go by their house, don't go sending them text messages. I don't know if you know them or not, but don't go looking for them. Don't go anywhere near where this alleged incident took place. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Want to order no drugs, no alcohol. Want to order monthly UAs. Same thing I told the other individual. Probation's going to contact you to get drug tested. You make sure you show up. If not, we're going to have a hearing, see why we shouldn't put you back in jail. You have a working phone number, sir?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
It's 956-407-6719.
407?
407-6719.
Is that your phone?
Yes, sir. It's active right now.
All right. This is 933-2419.
That's my mother, sir.
Get out on bond, sir. Stay in contact with your attorney. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Bond will be reduced to $5,000 cash surety on each count. With all other
Thank you, Your Honor.
conditions. Anything else, Mr. Cedillas?
No, sir, that's all I have, Judge. Thank you for your time and consideration, Your Honor.
All right, have a good afternoon.
Likewise.
Go ahead and have a seat, sir. Next case we're gonna call is C 3370-24-C, State of Texas versus Luis Robledo. Speak English, Mr. Robledo?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Robledo is
morning, Your
present,
Honor.
speaks English. Good afternoon, Mr. Ortega.
Good afternoon, Judge Jorge Ortegon for Mr. Robledo. Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting a bond reduction for Mr. Robledo, Judge, as he is a U.S. citizen, as this honorable court knows. He is innocent unless proven guilty, Judge. My client has been incarcerated now for more than 12 days, Judge. He is unable to make the bond. We do understand that the bond is relatively low, Judge. It is set at $5,000 cash surety. However, that is beyond my client's financial means, Your Honor. And for that reason, we would respectfully request a $1,000 cash surety bond so they can come up with the money he can get out, and we can adequately discuss this case before arraignment, Judge. He does have some priors, Your Honor. However, he is unable to afford this bond, Judge, and will avail himself to court, Your Honor. For those reasons, we would respectfully request a bond reduction at this time.
What says the state?
Yes, Your Honor. We're going to be opposed to any reduction in bond, Judge. A $5,000 cash surety bond, Judge, is fair and reasonable, even with this priors, Judge. So due to that, the state will be opposed to any reduction of his bond at this time.
Raise your right hand.
And if I may
Mr.
briefly,
Well, hang on just a minute, Mr. Robledo, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
You put your hand down. Sir, the magistrate who arraigned you at the time ordered an emergency protective order, which means you cannot have any contact with a Stephanie Robledo. You know who that is? You cannot have any contact. The order says for 91 days. It's set to expire on October 10th of this year. I'm going to ask that this order stay in place until this case is resolved, or unless your attorney gets the magistrate to change that order. So when you were arrested and arraigned, they advised you of that. I'm telling you now, when you get out of here, they'll give you a copy of it. So, where do you live, sir? What's your address?
2901 Neverland Drive, Mission, Texas.
Lives in Los Cenisos Road, Solo City.
My mother, I was suffering at the time being.
Very well. The protective order says you cannot go back to that address, so go back there. I don't know who's there, the victim is there or not, but you cannot go back there. If she's at your house where you just gave me the address, you cannot go back there either because, don't answer, I'm just telling you, because if they catch you there with her there, you're gonna be arrested for violating protective order. Do you understand that? Not to possess any firearms, you're not to communicate with her in any form or fashion, no text messages, no Facebook messages, whatever. You're not to possess a firearm, you're not to go within 200 yards of her residence. You're not even calling for jail, do you understand that? Mr. Ortegon, you wanted to address something?
Your Honor, I just actually wanted to bring up that order, Your Honor, and that my client has complied with that order. Judge is going to comply with that order, and that this court obviously, in considering a bond reduction, has, you know, ways to keep, you know, quote, the community safe, Judge, by doing exactly what you just did, Judge. So I was just going to try to touch base on that.
Okay, I'm gonna order monthly UA, sir. You're gonna get drug tested. No drugs, no alcohol, both, you understand? Make sure you show up when probation contacts you. I'll reduce bond to $2,500 cash surety.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Contact with the victims.
Judge, and this court won't consider maybe a $1,000 or a $1,500 cash surety, Judge. I know he is incarcerated, and that's going to be a lot of money for them to try to come up with, Judge.
You have a job, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, at the temporary, I was in a health condition, but throughout the time, right now, I'm trying to go back to college, trying to get back to school.
Graduate from high school?
Yes, Your Honor.
What high school?
Juarez Lincoln, Abraham Juarez Lincoln, here in La Jolla, if I'm not mistaken.
How old are you?
I'm 20, I just turned 29, Your Honor, this month.
When was the last time you worked?
Just this couple of months, Your Honor, I was working in construction and carpentry.
Who are you working for?
I was working there with my grandpa there in 2901. He gives me little things here and there, but I make anywhere from.
Do you have kids, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Have you had the chance to review the complaint, Mr. Ortegon?
I believe I did, Judge.
I'll leave it at $2,500 cash surety.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have, Judge. May I be excused at this time?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You have a great one, Your Honor.
You too. Next case I'm gonna call is C 3400-24-8, State of Texas versus Felipe Rodriguez. Speak English, correct, Mr. Rodriguez? Carlos Garza, this is your motion. Your client's present. He does speak English.
Yes, sir.
Just for the
Carlos
record,
Garza.
Carlos, he does have an ice hold also. I'm not sure if you were aware.
Well, now I am. Doggone it.
Okay.
All right.
And also, you had 5 charges on the complaint. The only thing before the court looks like the theft, which is at $10,000, and the possession of controlled substance, which is at $5,000. All the other charges of complaints have been filed. They all landed in court too.
Oh, very good. Very good. So we're going to get an arraignment on that. Okay. Mr. Rodriguez, did you hear that?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Felipe, ¿hablas inglés? ¿Hablas español, digo? I mean, inglés?
He said he spoke English.
Okay.
Mr. Rodriguez, there's an immigration hold on your case. Okay, we don't want to hear the explanation. You can go ahead and have a seat, sir. Anything else, Mr. Garza, on that one?
Not on that one, Judge. I've got 2 other ones.
Bottom
see if I
line the
got
same for Mr. Rodriguez.
Very good.
Sorry, sir. Somebody have
Yes,
something to say? Next case we have is C 3401-24-8, State of Texas versus Miguel Rodriguez, this is all your motion, Carlos?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you speak English?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is present. Only thing before the court is the theft and the engaged in organized, same thing, the theft and the engaged in organized criminal activity. Looks like bonds have already been granted on the other cases. And the
Right
complaints
now,
have been
presently,
filed.
I think he's sitting on $85,000 bond. Is that correct, Mr. Goya?
No. I don't believe so, because the theft is at $5,000 cash surety, and the engaged in organized criminal activity also at $5,000 cash surety. The two of the misdemeanors have PR bonds, and one has a like a $5,000 bond, but the complaint's already been filed on that.
Very good.
Okay,
this gentleman is,
before the court is 15,000.
15,000. This gentleman is 19-year-old U.S. citizen. He's living with his grandparents. He's presently unemployed, no kids, but he's a young person. He has no assets, no friends to help him bail him out, and he doesn't have any credit to go out and borrow the money. So at 15,000, Judge, I'd ask for the bonds to be reduced at least to, let's say, $1,000 each, and I believe he'll be able to make that.
What says the state? Just for the record, Mr. Cuellar, this gentleman has been in jail for 207 days. Is there any reason why the indictment has not been presented?
I'm not too sure, Judge, but reasoning, he's been in jail for 207 days, Judge, and because of that, we would agree to reduce his bonds to $1,000 cash surety. That's our position due to the time he's been in jail. And I will, after this, I will send an email to Mr. Endiamaged, our intake chief, to either find out what's going on, either expedite the indictment, or if it's ready for grand jury, to let him know that.
Mr. Rodriguez, raise your right hand, sir. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You graduate from high school, sir?
Yes, sir.
What high school?
Graduation, sir. I got my GED from boot camp. And I'm Aurora Rodriguez.
We get out, we're not gonna go back on the street and do the same thing, right? Not like you said you were, right? I read that in the report. Be out in one day and go do the same thing. I hope not. Understand?
Yes, sir. I actually my mind from being here, sir.
Bond will be reduced on each count, $2,500 PR. We'll order monthly UAs. If you don't show up to get drug tested, so I'm gonna put you right back in jail. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
You come back positive for drugs or alcohol, I'm gonna put you right back in jail. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, anything else, Mr. Garza, on that one?
That's all I have. Thank you, Judge.
I think you have one more, no?
One more.
Yeah, we're gonna call C 3441-24-E, State of Texas versus Juan Inocencio. You speak English, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Inocencio is present. He speaks English. This is your motion, Mr. Garza. You may proceed.
Yes, sir. Mr. Inocencio is a U.S. citizen in construction, has 4 kids, paying child support. He's been to prison before, Your Honor, to be frank with you. But I've had him before, Inocencio. It's a good name for him. He's innocent of this charge. He's got no assets. No assets, no, can't borrow the money. I think his bond is set at 10,000, so we'd ask for the smallest bond possible.
Actually said at 25, right? I believe. Is that correct, Mr. Cuellar?
Yes, Judge, that's correct. 25.
What's the state's position?
Yes, Judge, in this case, as Mr. Garza did mention, the defendant has a very extensive criminal history, and as well, he has multiple prison trips. So because of that alone, and due to the nature of this charge, we feel like the bond is reasonable in this case. So the state will be opposed to any reduction at this time.
Raise your right hand, Mr. Inocencio. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
What city do you live in, sir?
I need to visit them.
How long have you lived there?
Like 20 years.
You own a house, you rent,
House.
you own?
Right now.
Good. Where do you work, sir? What kind of work do you do?
This is, roofing and painting.
Work for a company or your own?
Yeah, I was working for a company, yeah.
How long
I
you
was working for somebody else, he was working for a company. So I'm just, is,
Your Honor, I will point out to the court that he was sent to state jail, and this happened before he went to state jail, and they picked him up when he came out, looks like.
Well, the report said it happened in July this year, so maybe that's another one.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that one right now.
Right.
We won't talk about that one, Carlos.
Okay, never
Bond
mind.
will be reduced to $2,500 cash surety. Monthly UAs. What were you asking for? You said 5,000, or what'd you ask for?
For the lowest bond possible, Judge.
$2,500 cash surety.
Very good.
Good luck to you, sir.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I have. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you.
Enjoy your vacation.
Thanks. I'm taking off next week.
Yeah. Next case we're gonna call is C 3390-24-F, State of Texas versus Efren Vasquez. You speak English, correct, Mr. Vasquez?
Yes, sir.
Lloyd Sepulveda, it's your motion, sir. You may proceed.
Can you hear me, Judge?
Now I can.
Okay, Judge, my client, this is a state jail felony. Obviously, it's an enhancement from a misdemeanor, Judge. Yeah, he's a U.S. citizen, Judge, lives with mom, Judge. Mom supports him, Judge, and mom can't make the bail right now, Judge. But again, this is just a misdemeanor that's been enhanced to the state jail, Judge. He has no means, Judge. It's a nonviolent crime, Judge. So we're asking for a PR bond, Judge, if possible. And
What says
obviously,
the state?
he has, excuse me, Judge, he has priors, Judge, all misdemeanors, Judge.
All right, what says the state?
Yes, Judge, due to his priors and misdemeanors, and this is technically his first felony because of his prior misdemeanors. The state can agree to reduce the bond to a $20,000 cash surety to a $5,000 cash surety at this time.
Sir, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
How old are you, sir?
I'm 50 years old, sir.
You put your hand down. You disabled?
I've been going to get disability, sir, at the Social Security office. But they
See,
give me,
limping, though.
I have arthritis all over my body, sir.
Okay, all right. Who do you live with?
My mom, my mother, she's 80 years old, and I
What
take
city?
Alamo.
Sir, you get out on bond, do not go back to that Stripes located at
Correct, sir.
7815, what is it? Listen to me, 907 South Alamo Road. You went in there twice, 2 different days. Do not go back there, you understand?
Correct, sir.
I hear, find out that you're hanging out at that store doing the same thing, we'll put you back in jail. Is that clear?
Yes.
Bond will be reduced to $2,500 PR.
Thank you, Judge.
Don't
That's
go
all.
back to that location, sir.
Thank you, Mr.
Happy or what?
Not happy, but happy and sad.
Do not go back to that location, you understand me?
I learned my lesson this time, hopefully.
I hope so. We'll see.
I've been looking for work, sir. Those things that I.
Don't go back to that store. That's all I'm asking you.
Difference. Yeah, cut it. Judge already made a decision. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Thank you, Judge. Take
Good
care.
afternoon.
Likewise, take
All right,
care.
you too.
Bye-bye.
Next case we're gonna call is C 3360-24-F, State of Texas versus Jesus Hernandez. Speak English, Mr. Hernandez? Sammy, this is your motion. Before you get started, let me see. it looks like, I think, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cases before the court. All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon. Samuel Reyes for the defendant, Judge Jesus Hernandez. Your Honor, my client is charged with 4 theft charges. The first one, he's got a $5,000 cash surety bond, and then the other 3, he's got $1,000 cash surety bonds on each of those, Judge. He is a U.S. citizen, and he's 58 years old. He's a certified welder. He is indigent, Your Honor. I was appointed on this matter, and in speaking with him, he has no assets, no funds whatsoever, no money in the bank. But he does reside alone in Pharr, Texas. So, Judge, given that he's indigent, these are nonviolent offenses, and he's been in jail now, I think a little over 3 weeks, I think, Judge. I'm asking the court consider PR bonds.
What says the state?
Yes, Judge. The defendant does have some priors, but they look like all of them are misdemeanors, Judge. And because of that, Judge, and of these 4 theft charges, we feel like the bonds are reasonable. Together with all 4 of them combined, he has an $8,000 cash surety. So because the state feels that bond is reasonable due to his to this charge and his prior misdemeanor charges as well, Judge. So the state will be opposed to any reduction at this time.
Raise your right hand, sir. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? How old are you, sir? You know how much money welders make?
I know.
A lot of money.
I'm another welder for 20 years.
Are you disabled?
I'm, of course, and going through a hard time.
You could make a lot of money doing welding as opposed to what you're doing.
My ex-wife took all that money.
Well,
I need one.
nothing wrong with you working though, right? You're not hurt, right?
No, I'm not.
Get back to work, sir. That's my suggestion. Bond will be reduced on the theft charge. Do not go back to Academy, located in Expressway in McAllen. Don't go to any academies. You understand me? I don't want to see you or get any reports. They don't want you there. Don't go back to any of them. Do you understand? Do not go back to the HEB in Alamo. I think that was the location. 1211 East Frontage, Alamo. Do not go back to that HEB. Do you understand me? Bond will be reduced to $1,000 cash surety on each count.
Okay,
Cut it in
Judge,
half.
he's currently got a 5,000, but he's got a 1,000 cash surety on the other one. So those are keeping the same, but the first one you're reducing to 1,000 cash surety.
Yeah, so that should put it at 4,000 total. He was at 8. We did
That's
cut it in half.
Very good, Judge. Perfect, Judge. We appreciate that, Your Honor.
Do not go. Do you have any financial means?
Sir, I'm alone in the world right now. I have nobody.
Where do you live?
You're sending
Where do you live? Where do you live?
But that's 3 things how far.
You have a house there or what?
I had a house there. I have 21. I don't know.
You live by yourself?
Yeah.
When was the last time you worked?
A couple of months ago, before I got the pregnant.
Doing what, welding?
I was doing the roof.
There's money to be made, sir. The legitimate way.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Right. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I have,
Thank
Your
you,
Honor.
sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, sir. Sequoia, thank you. That's all we have this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good one.